Hello and welcome to the October 2019 layout update for the Trent Valley Railway. In this update we'll look at the cork underlay on the inclines. I've now put both of those cork sheets down on the incline, the thinner one on the left, which is used on the lower level of the layout, and obviously the thicker one on the right. We'll look at the progress made on the track laying for the inclines. The first corner piece, which I've got all of that pinned down and to a minimum third radius curve, and there'll be some trains running on the layout so far. A lot of progress has been made, particularly around the inclines and the start of them from the lower level of the layout where the fiddle yard is, that will then go up towards the scenery levels, which is the next level up. The target is to get this completed as a full loop by the end of the year, and I'm hopefully on target here, as you'll see during this video. Thank you to all those people who have commented and liked the previous updates. I hope you'll continue to watch these updates to the end of the year to see hopefully the progress that's made and make that full loop from the lower level up to what will be eventually a scenery level for the layout. Hope you also enjoyed the exhibition videos that I put on my channel, and there'll be more of those coming soon towards the end of the year as well, and thank you very much to all the new subscribers to the channel. We'll now get into the main update for October and look at the detail and the progress that I've made for the Trent Valley Railway. I'm going to start off on the incline nearest the front of the board here and deal with the transition between the foam incline and the incline that then is on the baseboard sections. You'll notice in the video here I've already got the track wired up. I've done that in the meantime, and now I will take you through how to put on the sections of the cork underlay for, first of all, on top of the foam incline, and then we'll look at how I've completed the transition into the thicker cork underlay on the baseboard incline sections. I've removed the track and I've gone away and prepared the two pieces of cork underlay which need to go onto the incline, and I've also used the baseboard width, unscrewed that to make sure then that the thicker cork underlay is the right width, and then I've gone and screwed down this short section in between the foam incline and the longer sections of the baseboards. So the next job to do is to now put these two pieces, one onto there and the other one onto there, and to get that in the middle there nice and flush so that there isn't a difference in the levels. Across the layout I've been using Gorilla wood glue, and that nicely binds together the cork underlay and the baseboards, or in this case this foam incline, and also then to spread the glue around just using a piece of card from some of the spare packets of the points, to then spread around that glue on this section here before I'll then put down the smaller, thinner cork underlay sheet on this part of the incline. I've now put both of those cork sheets down on the incline, the thinner one on the left, which is used on the lower level of the layout, and obviously the thicker one on the right. You'll see in the very middle then is the join. That gives a really nice smooth flush finish between the two cork underlay sheets, and when I come round to shortly putting the track on it, you'll see there that that gives a very nice transition between those two sections there. What I've also done in doing that section at the very bottom of the incline is I've also then merged it into the lower level on the far left there, where there's also a join between the incline and the lower level of the layout. So the next part here is to carry on up the incline and then wait for all of the cork underlay to dry, put some stuff down on top of it to weigh it down and get it all flat, and then I can start to put the track down. So I've made it all the way towards the network rail shunter on the right hand side of the picture with the cork underlay on this incline, and I'm now weighing it down with a few books and weights and a few of the big wooden blocks that I've got left over from when I propped up the incline. So it goes all the way then down to the bottom of the incline, and we'll wait for that cork underlay to dry and then start getting the track down. The track work is now in progress, so this is the area that I was working on in the last update, and I've now started to bring the track around this corner, and then it joins the incline, and I've got one section of concrete track in there. At the moment the radius is around about a third radius curve around the corner, and then I've got the track setter there for a straight to go all the way up the incline, and I'm now going to do the track behind this curve and get the spacing right and put those wires through the baseboard. I've now got both of the tracks down on the first incline part of the way along, so if we take a look around this corner here, joins the incline and then comes up to there. So that's as far as I've got on this first incline at the moment. I've pinned all the track down, put the wires through the baseboards, ready to power up those sections. But I'm now going to move on to the incline behind, which you'll see at the back, and put down the cork underlay sheets on those, and whilst that's waiting to dry, I'll then put the track down on the last sections of the first incline towards the garage door. I've now begun on the second incline and putting down the cork underlay. I've done the transition between the incline and the lower level of the layout, and now all of that there is being weighed down to make sure that the glue bonds the wood and the cork underlay together. And the next part here is now to come around what is the first corner on the incline, making sure that this is all tidy and the glue will stick the cork underlay down to the baseboard. I'll need to hoover those small bits off there, but what I've done is I've gone and cut out a section there, which that will go onto there around the corner, and I've cut that out of a wider, bigger piece of the cork underlay sheet roll, which I've bought for this thicker 4mm cork underlay. So next job here is to glue this down, weigh it down, and then let it set before putting the track down on the second incline. I've now got the two tracks in on the rear incline here on this side. These connect into the fiddle yard area, which I completed earlier this year. That's where the Voyager is. There's two sidings up that end that this side connects into before going round into the main fiddle yard. Had a little problem whilst doing the wiring and putting those wires through the baseboards in the middle. That was because I hadn't taken notice of the support post that was underneath that section of the layout, so I've had to sort of do a slight tweak. I'll fix that now, and I'll then move on up the incline now at the back and around to that corner piece that I was just waiting for that to set with the cork underlay on top of it. It's been a few days since I've last videoed the progress, and we were previously on this section of the incline, and I've now got the track in around the corner and also wired it up. Those wires are ready to go through the baseboard and underneath to be connected to the main power. It then comes across the first corner piece, which I've got all of that pinned down and to a minimum third radius curve, and then it comes across then a straight section at the very back. And I've been getting on with the progress on this incline, as you'll see, and I've now also come round this corner here as well with the 2 tracks and started up the straight on the incline over the top of the fiddle yard. The other incline then sort of gets in the way there, and that's about as far as I have reached, is just to the end of there. And I'll now take you down the other end as well to show you the progress I've made on laying the cork underlay for the rest of the incline on this side of the layout. So I've just taken you around the corner down the bottom there, and then if we look back down the incline, I've got one piece which is ready to go into that section, and then I've laid the cork now up here, another join there, and then up to the next corner piece here, which is by the garage door end of the layout, and up to the lift out section there. So all of this cork is now glued down, and the next part here is to get the track down on this section up to that lift out. I've added in an extra 2 lengths here to the incline at the very back and above the fiddle yard here, and I've stopped just short of then going around the corner towards the lift out section. Reason for that is I want to line up the tracks across the lift out section and do all that as one piece. But what I've also done in this section here is I've also got the wiring ready, and I've put in a small terminal block on the very back, and I've got 2 bus wires that you'll just see at the very back there that are connecting up these tracks along this incline. So this is as far as I've got up to now for this month's update. We'll now take a look at some of the trains running up and down the inclines that I've got completed so far.